month.
Okay.
It's been a while. Good morning, I'd like to welcome everybody to Williamson County Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting. It's February 13th, 2024. It's 10:03 a.m. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Present.
Jim Marlowe.
Present.
Jim Razor.
Present.
At this time, I'd ask everybody to rise. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Marlowe, would you need some?
Lord, we thank you for the beautiful day you've given us today, Lord. We just ask for your special blessing upon all those service members, men and women around the world protecting our country, Lord. And we just ask for blessings upon all of our first responders. And Lord, we just ask that you be with us, bless each and every one of us here, and be with us at this meeting, guiding us as we do our county business. This we pray through your son's name, Jesus.
I'll say it's almost too nice to be, should be outside. It's too nice to be in here. Jim, thank you for the nice weather. All right, let's get started. The consent agenda, did you guys have an opportunity to review the minutes and reports? Is there a motion to approve consent agenda?
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Down to department status reports. Lori, do you have something you'd like to tell us about today?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Hi. Well, I just want to give you my quarterly report. Since I wasn't able to make it resolved, I know to start from July. So I was elected to be vice president of the Illinois Association of Regional School Superintendents. So I'll be serving in that capacity for the next 2 years. I'm also an assistant chair on the legislative student services, and then also I'm part of the business committee that we have just started with our organization. So I'm out and about quite a bit, having a little more say, and being able to present my ideas throughout the state on some things that we do. So I'm just happy to have a voice for Southern Illinois. Just to remind you, we are the lead hub, so that means that we are the hub for all the education priorities that will come down to Southern Illinois. So Area 6, that covers 5 counties. And so we receive most of the incentives, and then we sub-grantee out to these other REs and then help them, get things organized. And so over the past this is our 3rd year with the social emotional learning grant, trauma responsive. That's been quite significant throughout the state, and the way we organize ours is, number one, we are reaching quite a variety of schools in Area 6. Obviously, Area 21 has the most, so we're getting out to the schools and engaging to provide a lot of professional development to our teachers, as well as social workers and administration. So we're just hoping that we are approved in the upcoming budget, because the SEL grant, this is last year, so as of June 30th, that will be gone. We are hoping that this becomes a line item because it is so necessary in our school districts. Without it, many of our school districts couldn't have social workers or psychologists, and some of the things that are necessary, required in law for the threat assessment teams that all districts have to have as well. So our truancy team, they're still knocking it out of the park. We sent them on to a national conference this year, and within that weekend, they were voted onto the board, and then we'll be presenting next year. So they're go-getters. They do a great job, and so they are bringing our numbers down in Southern Illinois, which can, it's a love-hate relationship with those grants. Your numbers have to be high in order to get the grant, or you lose points. And so we're working with the state to try to get some of the rubric on that evaluated, so good programs can continue to receive funding. Goodness, there's just so many things going on. My assistant regional super and I are headed to a national conference, our first one. So we're excited about that. It's the AASA conference. We usually hit the Illinois Association of Superintendent Conferences. Other than that, I mean, you just have the numbers. You know, your report and just some of the folders just has some of the things that are going on, but you can always see everything going on our website.
Multifaceted organization.
Yes, it is. We have a lot going
Look
on.
at this, whatever, all that you,
It's hard to get them on one little
yeah.
piece of paper.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
And I've always asked this almost every time you do report backs. I'll continue to ask it.
Okay.
The teachers, the number of teachers, do you find it increasing now or still decreasing or what? Where are we at? Teachers coming?
I think that we are still about the same, about level. However, we have many of our school districts who are utilizing Educator Rising programs, and so that's trying to build teachers within. So they're driving them while in high school, trying to get them into college, into the teacher prep programs, in order to then provide them a job. Like, you'll have a job when you come back. And so that's been great. We're working with outside universities outside of the state because there's some better opportunities to get teachers in and licensed a little quicker and to be able to get into the school districts so the school districts can evaluate and determine the way they would like to be trained. So providing more, on-the-job training rather than coming to the university and, looking for a job. We used to have, 50 to 100 applications for every position, and now we're lucky if we just have a few. And so we are looking at every opportunity. We're also working on the licensure. They changed the licensure for teachers from an elementary education license to a secondary education license. Now you've got K2, 2-5, 6-8, and then high school. And so that has really, that decision made a huge impact on the teacher shortage. So our newest report on the teacher shortage should be coming out shortly. We do a survey every year, and so once I get that, that'll help us see where we're at with our districts. Did I answer your question?
Any other questions?
I believe there's a consolidation going on in Union County. Do you have any district consolidation going on?
No, we did have last year, Johnson Maple Grove and Nassau County. They did a few feasibility studies. They were trying to do a dissolution annexation with Nassau County, drop it into Nassau County, and that resolution failed. And so Ron knows a lot about that because all of that landed on me to get that information, put the reports together, provide the wording for the resolution on the ballot. So that didn't pass, but that all went through the regional board of school trustees. So we do not. Any other questions?
Thank you, Lori. Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is a resolution. Is that two resolutions, Travis, for the Highway Department?
Yeah.
You're not going to explain to us what these resolutions.
Okay, which one you got first?
The resolution requesting consent of the Department of Transportation transfer payment of taxes.
Okay, so as a county unit road district, the Department of Transportation gives us the ability to transfer up to 30% of our county unit road district or county highway funds to the county unit road district. Maintenance on 530 miles is a lot higher than 130 miles. So this year we're going to transfer 26%, which amounts to $500,000 from county highway to county unit to help maintain county funds, county units. We do this every year. And that is resolution 240213-56.
So motion to approve this resolution.
Move to approve resolution 24-02-13-56, requesting consent of the Department of Transportation to transfer of county motor vehicle tax.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson. Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Reagan.
The next resolution is, we had our annual MFT letting last week. And surprisingly, the prices pretty much all come back a little bit lower, not substantially, but lower is better than higher in this business these days. So, the price that is reflected on here was what we received from our contractors, and rock suppliers. And so what this is you guys resolution, giving us a resolution to approve these prices, and they'll order material for next year. We will send a consent to IDOT based on this, and they will consent to it, and then we can start ordering rock and bam and oil for our maintenance for the year.
Does this lock the prices?
It does.
for the
Yeah,
whole year?
it locks it in for the full year. That's correct. And you know, and what, the rock prices come down, like, I think we're about $250 a ton less. And so the last couple of years, when we were like $950 a ton, really stocked up. And then the last couple of years, I've just bought what we had to have to, and so there's downwards at this year, so probably stock up this year.
950 is not a bad price.
Well, that was when I was really stocking it up.
Yeah.
We're like, that's FOB, the price that we've got coming to job site is more like,
13.
yeah, more like 13. So it's still up from 3 years ago, but it's down considerably. So the pile is down considerably too, so we're probably going to stock up this year. So that is resolution 240213-57.
Move to approve resolution 24-02-13-57.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Reagan.
Yeah.
All we got now. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. All right. Let's talk about the building lease contract. Well,
So we are seeking to close out the conversation on the lease agreement with the Crab Orchard Wildlife Natural Refuge to rent their warehouse space at Area 7. And I am requesting the board to enter into the agreement as the board so that it becomes a county entity. The lease is a county entity as opposed to a specific office's entity. So I'm requesting the amount has already been budgeted into my budget. Once the lease is signed and entered into, then Crab Orchard will bill my department for the lease, and we will pay it as an annual fee. And there is a condition in the lease that if we vacate it with a 90-day notice, we could vacate it and they would reimburse us our expenditure if we vacate it prior to the end of 2024. So my request is that the board consider entering into the lease agreement on behalf of the EMA office.
So the only change in this one, the one we looked at before, is the signature.
Is the language, yes, sir. Who's being named as the lease?
Any questions or concerns from our legal?
No, I mean, it's effectively makes it a county-wide available use, so if the state's attorney, circuit clerk, highway department, Alex, anybody needs extra storage space, it's permitted.
it's available.
And there's room. I mean, it's not, we're not occupying all of it, and that's obviously an option. We're open to that.
So we pick up a little bit of flexibility by going this route.
You do.
So motion to approve this lease.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Reagan.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Please excuse me, I'm gonna head over.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is the Hope Trust Board member. And I know that last month I made a request for the state's attorney to hear back from him, to contact the Attorney General's office. I haven't heard back from him. And let's continue this in whole business. Okay, Jim? All right. Moving on down to new business. We have a couple of raffle and puzzle and license applications here. Brett, did you have the opportunity to look through these?
I did, we asked for some clarification on one, Stephanie was able to get that, so I believe they're all in line in front.
I think we probably need to have a conversation. We can approve these right now, but we probably have to talk about where we want this thing to actually go. I don't know, Jim, you had some questions about that, some concerns?
Yes. So when the questions came up recently, I started digging through the existing ordinance. Looks like it dates to 2016. And I think we need to get this on agenda for full discussion because in my opinion, we need to make some adjustments and clarification. I noticed even on one of the applications today that applicants are writing in their own boxes to check. And also what was the biggest concern for me is section 9 on this ordinance, which is the reporting. And in some very brief research, I don't believe we're fulfilling. We can get this on an agenda for full discussion. I think we have some things to clean up in this ordinance.
Yeah, I want to talk about also the, if they can list all of the raffles, all the stuff we're going to do on one application. I'm not sure why that we want them to come back. If they have a Queen of Hearts, they have a winner, then they have to come back in and get a new application. I'm not understanding fully why we need to do that, why we can't just have them load up their application for what they're doing for the whole year.
So one of the questions that I had with that is, when does it end? So essentially a Queen of Hearts, if you approve it for infinity, then that's what you're doing. You can go on for years. You can bypass 1 year to the next, and it works fine with that.
Well, they would have to come back in at the end of that year because their application license would be up.
Still under the same raffle. That's the concern that you've got.
So right now, we also have 50/50 of them, right? If they have a 50/50 drawing, they have one every time they do a Queen of Hearts, they have to come in and get an application for 50/50. I'm just trying to streamline the process so we don't have people coming in here every other week, having to get a new license.
Well, and I think you need to explore the intent of the ordinance. Was the intent of the ordinance to have the board supervise and make sure that these were all proper raffles? Or was the intent to, I don't think it's to collect money or to gather portions of it, or.
Right, I'm not interested in collecting money on these licenses.
But what I'm saying is, so I think, again, peeling it back as to why do you make the public come in to get a raffle license? And then address it from that sense. So if it is an informative, then I see where you're saying of why make them come in and approve
Right.
3 different Queen of Hearts. They're gonna have a Queen of Hearts and it's gonna go until they end it type of situation. If it is to control each one of them so that you make sure that there's not 50 Queen of Hearts drawings within the county, then that's a different conversation. So again, I think the board needs to decide what is their intent of monitoring these raffles.
And I think with one suggestion, the 2 applicants that we have today are very different. That scale, one is for monthly recurring, the other is for an individual event.
Correct.
And it would seem to me that, again, if we clean this up, we could add an annual license. That someone comes in with a slightly higher fee, fills it out one time, and they don't have to be here every month. But again, I think we need to change the ordinance to reflect that and get it cleaned up.
I agree with that. We need to look through this. Let's get that on a future agenda.
Okay.
Work our way through that. All right, today we have two. We have a raffle and poker run license application for VFW Post 9763, VFW Auxiliary 9763. Do you guys have a chance to take a look at this? Let's look at it. I think we'll find legal on this.
Correct.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yes.
Jim Marlowe.
Yes.
Jim Razor.
Yeah.
The second one is a chicken and dumpling fundraiser for Joe and Rhonda Fisher. And once again, I think legal has looked at this. This is the Adams School, Cool Springs. Raffling a 9mm gun and a 50/50 gun. Legal has looked at this. It was okay.
Yep.
Motion to approve.
Where will the drawing be? My understanding is at the school.
It's at Adams School.
We're confident there. I'm sure the weapon wouldn't be there at the school.
Yeah, I doubt they take it.
You're good with it? Is there a motion made on?
Not yet.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Last new business is the animal control and government agreement between Williamson County and the city of Carterville. This is something we've done we have in many of the smaller towns and cities in the county. So any questions about this? So motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Okay.
Jim Razor.
Just for the record, I will note that I did not review this agreement due to the representation of the city of Carterville as well. So I have an inherent conflict with you guys. Just put it on, just put it out there.
I think we're still.
I think you are, but
Okay, Amanda, I think you've got something for us from the ordinance today.
Yes, the election judges compensation. Right now, the rate of pay for a 15-hour day is about $8 and some change. So this is going to be bringing it up to $12 for election judge. So they can make the 180 and then the $20 on top of that for continuing training for elections.
You have a resolution here.
Resolution, or it's ordinance number 2402-1302.
Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Do you have enough judges then?
I never say I have enough judges. Things always happen. I can always use judges. Call the office.
Just judge softball.
Okay, moving on now. We have a committee of board appointment today for Franklin Williamson Bi-County Health Board. This is to is to appoint me. And just checking the dates on this. Okay. It's resolution number 2402-13-58. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to appoint Tim Exon back to the Franklin Williamson Bi-County Health Board.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Abstain.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Yeah.
Right, before we move down to miscellaneous, is there anyone that has a public comment? Hearing no public comments, we'll move on down to miscellaneous. I didn't see any travel reimbursements in there. Stephanie, we didn't miss one, did we?
No.
Okay. ARPA reporting and funding. I think we need to have a conversation today, although first,
Yes.
Commissioner Marlowe, I think you had one that you want to talk about?
Yeah, Chairman Atkinson, I was approached by Dustin Eldridge, from the village of Spillertown. They had applied second application for ARPA funding for the amount of $38,000. They did that back last August. And the reason for that, their project went over like many of the projects that were started, and due to the overrun costs related to supply chain problems and stemming from the COVID issue. And so he called, wanted to know where it stood. I did talk to Dustin. I asked him, I said, Dustin, if this is not approved, I said, can you guys still complete the project? He said, yes. And go ahead and finish the project. They would get it going up. So I told him I would bring it up at a board meeting to discuss it and see what you guys thought.
The original amount that we gave them in ARPA, was that about 200?
Thank you. Close.
Yeah, and that was to rebuild the sewage injector or the sewage lift stations. Okay, thanks.
So they have some overruns. We don't have to make a decision on it today, but food for thought, think about it. Maybe the next time we meet, decide what we want to do with that. The application was sent in back in August. So we would have.
Okay. Do you have anything else on that, Jim?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any comments or anything on that, Jimmy?
Before next week.
Okay. All right, we can bring it up at the next meeting. ARPA is always on our agenda. Talking about ARPA, I think it's time, we had talked a month or two ago about sending out letters to find status of projects and see where folks are at on spending the money that we granted them, find out if they're on track, if they're not on track. It's probably time for us to do that. Send these letters out. I think we need, some of these projects have been finished, and I think we may be needing to close out paperwork. With just acknowledgement from them that they spent the money the way they were supposed to spend it. In some instances, they came in, they made an application for payment, and actually has written a check to the entity, and then they went out and they paid the vendors. I believe we've got invoices for that. We probably need to check at this time.
And I also think there may be one application we need to take a second look at to verify that it qualifies.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we can do that. I think we have one application where the applicant still isn't. From the time that we granted them the money until now, they went from being on the pay list for GATA to not being on the pay list for GATA. I don't think that status has changed. So that's another one that we need to take a hard look at. Okay, as I don't want to take the lead on this. Okay, I'll send out the letters. I tried. You can't say I didn't try.
That's right. Or the church.
I will, I'll get a letter written out and I'll send it, I'll have it sent to you guys and you can mark it. And we can clean it up. I'll get that done in the next week or so. Okay? I will do my best to get that done in the next week or so.
In the past, we've had ARPA themed meetings, like on Wednesday afternoons. Do we need to schedule one the next 2 or 3 weeks and kind of put all this in one bundle?
Yeah, if you want to, Wednesday afternoon at 1:15. So if you want to do that,
I'll check the schedule.
Right, we need to check.
Wednesday afternoon already, since we didn't have anything.
well, we can start in 2 weeks.
No, I do agree with going back to Wednesday meeting. It's just-
Okay, so 2 weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks from now would be fine.
Okay, we'll keep that agenda clean. It would just be ARPA. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Stephanie, would you put that on the calendar, please? And then on that agenda, it will just be ARPA, nothing else. Ready, available 1:15 in 2 weeks?
Okay.
On Wednesday?
That'll be the 28th. Or are we talking the 21st?
I'm gonna say,
Because tomorrow
tomorrow.
is Wednesday, so 2 Wednesdays would be the
I
21st.
was thinking the 28th.
Okay,
Let's make
yes,
it the 28th.
I'm good.
And let's don't make that at 1:15, let's just make that at 1:30.
Sorry for, I'm not available the 28th.
It's like herding cats.
Okay, Jim, do you have a better date on that?
I'm good on the 21st, I'm good on the 6th, 13th. Any of
You'll be good on the 21st? I thought you don't have
No.
something on? Okay. All right, instead, it's gonna be the 21st.
Thank you.
That would be 1:30. Are you not good?
No, sorry. I've
Okay,
got a
let's,
court hearing in Alexander County that day.
how about we leave, Wednesdays and we go to Thursday? Is anybody open on the 22nd?
I am.
For the afternoon,
Are you open in the afternoon?
I've got a meeting at 2 o'clock.
Are you open at 9?
Yes.
Okay, 9 a.m., 22nd. Well, that wasn't difficult. On 22nd at 9 a.m. You guys have anything else in miscellaneous? It's kind of, adjacent to the road project. I've had conversations with attorney for Blairsville and Lakeside, and they're working their way through an intergovernmental agreement to have maintenance on the water tower that we built for Blairsville. We still have an issue as of last week. I don't think it's been cleared up yet. But the property that it sits on is still part of that lien at Walker's Bluff. So working on that, working towards it, trying to get that situated. So that brings you up to date on the road extension project, information that I have today. All right. Nothing else on miscellaneous? All right. Gentlemen, I'd like to go into closed session today. I'd like to talk about some property projects. We need to talk about the intergovernmental agreement for ball fields. Okay, Brett, do you have it?
Pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2C5 for possible acquisition of property for benefit of Williamson County residents. Be your exception.
I make a motion to go into closed session using that reference statute. Roll call, please.
Tim Anderson,
Okay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yes.
Jim Roman.
Okay.